It's time to get back in touch with nature. This is our review of Ecosystem
and Ecosystem Savannah. Both versions of Ecosystem are tile placement card games about building a balanced ecosystem. And I like how there's very few words, but it's still very strategic.
Both are great small box card games, but I think I like Savannah slightly more. We'll tell you why after this quick how to play. Both games are closed drafting games, meaning that players will draft from their hand, play a card, and then pass their hand to the next player.
Once players have chosen their card, they will play it in a 4x5 grid in front of them.
There are several card types in the game, and the placement of cards in association to other cards will score the player's points at the end of the game.
Players will play 10 cards passing their hands to the left, and then 10 cards passing to the right.
After each player plays 20 cards, the game ends and the players add up their scores.
The main difference between the two versions is how each card is scored and the bonus scoring at the end.
For both games, the player with the most points wins. We were sent a copy of both games from Genius Games so that we could do this review video.
If you'd like to find out more about each game or to buy a copy of the game, check out our links in the description below.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
All your likes and subscribes really help our channel out, so thank you.
So Ecosystem and Ecosystem Savannah both use similar mechanics where you have your cards, you're going to draft the cards, you're going to pass them, and then you're going to choose one card and play it, and you're going to create a grid 4x5, so you're going to have 20 cards. And the cards that you're playing will have different pictures, animals or scenes, that kind of thing, and how you place them will determine how many points you get. So when you place a bee next to a meadow, you'll get 3 points for that bee. So how you place it will determine how many points you get. And I really like games like that, where it's like a thinking, tile placement, puzzle type of game. Even though there's not a lot of player interaction, yes, you are drafting and passing. It's mainly just a solo, solitaire kind of a game. I really enjoy doing that because I like thinking, oh, if I place this here and I get this card, I can do this. If I do it here, and then as the cards are going around, you're like, oh, this card's still here. Hopefully it'll go one more turn. It'll still be here. Oh, it still is. And then you get to play it and everything works out. It's really satisfying when you make a nice grid and at the end of the game, you're like, I did everything I wanted to do.
When you first open either box and you just take a look at it, all you've got are cards, like Kenny said, with animals or scenes on them or trees or something. And then all you have is reference cards and the instruction book. Now, right off the bat, as you're teaching the game or as I was learning it, I was like, that's a lot of cards to remember. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, we get a reference card, but do I really want to go each drafting round? Like, okay. Like, just keep on, like, oh, what does this do again? Luckily, though, it's pretty intuitive. Like, okay, there's a bee in that one. Guess what bees like to be next to? Or guess what likes to be next to bees? It kind of works out that you're like, oh, okay, naturally that makes sense that that's going to score like that. So I really like how intuitive it is when you're trying to think of like the food chain and ecosystems. That anxiety or that fear in the very beginning of like, oh, it's going to be so much to learn and remember. Like, oh my God. But it wasn't.
The main differences in the game are how the cards are scored. So obviously they're different animals. So this is Ecosystem. So this is a bear, trout, dragonfly, stream, wolf. So kind of more of a foresty theme. And then you have Savannah, which has the lion and the elk and the Savannah theme. And they will all score differently based on how they played. This one actually has a different end game scoring. So you have to score all the cards that are here according to what they say. But then you also have your diversity score, which if you have any gaps, which means if you have any of your cards that didn't participate or score during the game, then you add that up, and however many you have, you'll get points, or if you have more than 6 gaps, you'll get negative points. So that's the end game scoring with this one. I like the end game scoring for Savannah because the cards will determine the extra bonus type things that you get. And what I mean by that is the lion will eat certain animals. So as you go about, you're going to turn certain cards over, and then when certain cards are turned over, that's going to change how your score works. So not only are you playing thinking about how will these cards score together, but also how will these score together when things start flipping, and at the end, what points will I get? Well, right now it's like this, but after I do this, it'll be like this. I like thinking that way better, not three-dimensionally, but I like thinking in terms of this does this, rather than the end game scoring with the base game where it's just, I need every card to score or I might end up losing points. I don't really like that kind of end game bonus.
Yes, they're both ecosystem, but it's not just like, okay, the lion is just like the bear in that one, like if this happens. No, It's that they switched the mechanics up just enough that this is pretty much not a completely different game, but it's still like the mechanics are there that you can't just be like, oh yeah, lion and bear, same thing, antelope and rabbit, same thing. Like, it's different enough that I think you'll have fun playing either one and like enjoy the difference in the different ecosystems.
Yes, they're both a lot of fun. I enjoyed both. If you just have ecosystem, lots of fun. We played that one first and oh, I really like this game. Great game. And then a little bit later on, we played Ecosystem Savannah. And as I'm playing, oh, a lot of the things that I like in the regular ecosystem, but even better. So if you're only going to get one, definitely go with Savannah. That's the better one. However, they're both great. And then like Lee said, they both offer something different. So if you want to mix it up, you can change it up a little bit and try the different animals and see how they can all connect. But if you're going to get one, I definitely enjoy Savannah.
I would say the thing that I liked was in the first ecosystem, where if you get the rabbits, if you made a mistake, you can like kind of switch up 2 cards. I'm prone to mistakes, so I like those little erasers on things.
I like how little information is on the cards. As we explained earlier, you had the reference card and it can be a little overwhelming when you first look at it. However, I like that after you've played it a few times and it does really become intuitive and you don't need this and you're just playing, there's nothing there to distract you. It's just, oh, this moving there, and it's just pictures. I like that, how simple it can be. It can have a little bit of a learning curve, but I like once you get to playing it, how simple it looks when you start playing it.
The thing I didn't like is because of my own misreading the rules, but I didn't like the giraffes because the giraffes score 5 points if adjacent to at least 1 tree. So you could put 4 trees around them, that giraffe's only getting 5 points. So I did that and only got 5
But
points.
if you have 1 tree and 4 giraffes, then you'll get 20 points.
I misread it, but
The thing that I didn't like in the regular game of Ecosystem is the diversity scoring. I didn't like that you had to try to get everything to work. I mean, obviously you're trying to get everything to score. You're already like, yeah, I want everything to score. But then they throw it on top of, oh, you didn't get everything to score? You really suck. Now you get to lose points. Yes, you only lose points if you have more than 6 gaps, which is really hard. I don't think in any game we played, we ever had more than 2 or 3 gaps. But still, I don't like that negative thing. I already feel bad enough that my grade sucks. And you're just gonna add like salt to the wound by giving me even more negative points. Thanks a lot.
Overall, I really enjoyed how there's not much here, but there is depth. So yeah, you have animal cards, but then you have the rules of how to score them and everything. So there is some strategy there. So I really like that. And it's just, there's layers to this that I can have a lot of fun with. So I would probably give Ecosystem a 7 and Savannah a 7.5.
Overall, I really enjoyed both games. We played Ecosystem first and I enjoyed it, but the end game scoring thing kind of bugged me a little bit. So overall, I'd give that a 6. However, when we started playing Savannah, I like the different mechanics of how that works. I like the end game scoring and how things are flipping a lot better. So that game gets an 8. And that was our review of Ecosystem and Ecosystem Savannah.
What'd you think? Which one of these two would you play? Let us know in the comments below.
Once again, we'd like to thank Genius Games for sending us copies so that we could play both of these. And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.